Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. The Leonard Bernstein, Betty Comden, Adolph Green, and Jerome Robbins musical On the Town is back on Broadway with a glorious new production, and I'm here on the opening night, red carpet. What has brought you here tonight?
Oh, well, Howard Kagan and Janet Kagan are our producers on Pippin, and I'm so excited for them and thrilled to see this great American classic. I can't wait.
I was at Pippin again the other day to see Lucy. The show looks like it opened 3 days ago.
Bless you for saying that. So my best thing about working with Lucy is, I'd say, maybe you shouldn't do that. And Lucy would say, oh, but Diane, my mother would do it like this. I'd be like, all right, anything your mother did, go ahead, be my guest.
She's wonderful, Michelle. They all are. Everybody is.
She's so grounded as an actress and obviously so funny in her DNA. I'm thrilled she's part of our show now.
Now, let's talk about Finding Neverland. Brilliant, brilliant new musical you have put together up at ART. Tell me what that whole experience has been like for you and is for you.
It is a huge emotional journey because the story is so emotional, and we're hard at work to bring it to Broadway this spring, and it's an utter joy. My team, the creative composers and lyricists and my partners on the show are so dedicated to it. Very, very excited.
We cannot wait. This show is obviously about a 24-hour shore leave for three sailors. You are the busiest woman in show business. If you only had 24 hours left in New York, what would you have to do?
I would go take a nap in Central Park. How's that?
That's a good one.
Lay down in Sheep's Meadow.
You obviously have come from the rock world, but you're spending so much time. You've come to Broadway. You brought stuff to Broadway. I'm thrilled about that. What do you love about Broadway?
Wow. Well, it's always been
it kind of has everything. It's live, it's connection with an audience, it's gorgeous music, live music some of the time, dancing. I mean, you can't beat it. Classic stories. And
it's still really I think the top of the profession in a lot of ways. Whether you're doing TV or movies or rock and roll, I think theater always has a very high special place. I think probably the highest of them all.
This is about a 24-hour shore leave for three sailors. If you only had 24 hours left in New York, what would you have to do?
I'd have to jump in the fountain in Washington Square Park.
Perfect. Steve, for you?
Brooklyn Diner.
I got both of you together.
That's right. Well, we're an item.
That's right. I knew it would come out. Yeah. That's right.
We like to. Yeah, we're coming out. That's it. No, this is like the first date since the rehearsals.
That's right.
Right, we're in rehearsal.
Our first public appearance as a couple in a show.
Yay! Honeymoon.
Let's talk about rehearsals. This was so brilliant at Paper Mill. Tell me what it's been like rehearsing to return to Broadway.
You start.
It's like a family reunion. I mean, it really is. Seeing everybody again, and we were lucky enough to record our cast album already, the second week of rehearsal. So we're all thrilled to hear that music again, and thrilled to see each other again. And there's a couple of new things, and I think they're going to love every one of them.
Right, but I think it's also so great that it's not like we got to fix the second act. You know what I mean? So we're in great shape, and we have everybody back together. It's really great. Really great.
What are you looking forward to the most with bringing this show to Broadway, Honeymoon in Vegas?
Well, my big thing is I just can't wait for people to see it because what's been interesting. I went to see You Can't Take It With You, and I saw how much they liked that show, and all I could think of, wow, if they like this, holy mackerel!
I hear people singing.
Yeah. And it's the score. I cannot wait for people to hear the score to this show.
It's good. It's the best.
As he always says, you're going to have trouble picking the favorite song because they're all great.
Okay, my final question is: this is about a 24-hour shore leave for three sailors.
Yes.
If you only had 24 hours left in New York, what would you have to do?
If I had one thing left to do in New York, I'm just going to go quick. I'd eat at Patsy's. How's that?
Bob, for you.
And I'd bring him to Schmackery's for dessert afterward.
That's a good night out.
Hey, I told you we're an item. Hey.
You just hang on to him. You're in for a wild night. Just follow this guy.
So you have friends connected to the show?
Yes, absolutely. And Tony Yazbek, actually, was in a show with me, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. He started with Dirty Scoundrels. He's spectacular, and I can't wait to see it.
Tony is absolutely brilliant. The two of you, we lose you sometimes, some at theater, for TV and film. Tell me what you love the most about coming back to the theater.
It's
where I started, first of all. I mean, my very first experience in New York was in the Rothschilds.
Yep.
And I've done, several Broadway shows since then, and actually, fairly recently back on the stage. So I never left. I'm doing a workshop at Lincoln Center in about 2 weeks.
You don't get to put down roots anywhere else. Yeah. That's it. I mean, you come back and your clan is here, and you pick up like a family reunion.
And our roots are here now.
Yeah.
This show is about a sailor's 24-hour leave of the three of them. If you only had 24 hours left in New York, what would you have to do?
Oh, you wouldn't see us outside.
No. We'd go to Connecticut.
That's right.
The whole family's here.
Well, it's true that the three of us Bernstein kids are here. I'm Jamie. This is Alexander. That's Nina. And this is Nina's daughter, Anna.
A grandchild.
And one grandchild out of 4.
How do you feel tonight? Congratulations. I saw this a few nights ago. This is stunning. How do you feel?
We're ecstatic and we're so excited. And the minute that New York, New York tune starts up, I know I'm going to burst into tears.
It's so exciting to have this big band playing this music, and the cast is extraordinary, and the dancing, the choreography is wonderful. The whole production is great.
I brought a hanky.
You're going to need it.
I know.
Now, was it your first time seeing it tonight?
I saw a preview earlier.
So what'd you think?
It was really good. Yeah.
When was the last time there was a 28-piece orchestra on Broadway?
Yeah.
Not lately. We're so thrilled and proud that this fantastic score is getting the attention it deserves with this big, beautiful pit orchestra. It's really exciting.
So tell me what's brought you here tonight?
Well, this is sort of turning into the season of Comden and Green. It's like they have this on the 20th century and then Peter Pan on TV. It's like they are winning this season. It's one of my all-time favorite musicals, and what's more New York than this show. And I took the subway here. That felt so New York, and started whistling the score, and I'm so excited for tonight.
Do you have some friends connected to the production?
I do. I have friends all over the show, and I know that they've been working on it. For a while. It was out of town. I think it was just upstate New York or something like that. And
at Barrington.
At Barrington Stage Company, and we all wanted it to come in because it's such a classic. And here it is. I can imagine they're stretching away backstage. I hear it's quite the dance show.
So are you filming in between, seeing shows?
I really am. I'm back living in New York City after LA and the West Coast for so many years. I'm like going to every show I can. I miss doing this at night. So, I have a call at 7:15 in the morning.
When you're doing TV, do you miss theater? And when you're doing theater, do you miss TV?
Absolutely. At the end of a day of rehearsal in theater, you go, man, I just want a TV show. And then at the end of sitting around on your TV set, waiting to film 3 lines, you go, man, I just want the audience. So yes, but that's why back in New York, get to do both.
Okay, this is obviously about a 24-hour shore leave for the 3 sailors.
Yes.
If you only had 24 hours left in New York,
yes,
what would you have to do?
24 hours left in New York. I would wake up really early, watch the sunrise from the High Line, go all around the city, maybe spend an hour in Bergdorf's just to people watch and try on some really expensive clothing, and then, just run around and maybe some good pizza and end the night at, Birdland, just a great jazz club or something like that.
What's brought you here tonight, the two of you?
Michael Rupert.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
that's our man.
And
all the rest of the cast.
All the other rest of the cast in the show itself, but Michael Rupert first and foremost, second favorite co-star in Legally Blonde.
Totally.
Yes. So.
There are 31 people in the show. There are 28 pieces in the orchestra. I saw this the other night. You're going to have the time of your life seeing this show.
I can't wait. We've been really excited about this one.
It's kind of great to see the classics, and I'm just like, I can't wait to hear with that much of an orchestra. I'm not used to that. I don't think I've ever had that before.
Where do you see the brass section? Usually there's one brass, one trumpet, one violin. There are 4 and 5 of each piece in this orchestra.
Well, now you're talking my language. Nothing better than a big brass section, so there you go.
Explosion of sound.
Let's just talk about Broadway. You're always here. You always come out. Tell me what you love about Broadway. I'm always here. I'm always on the carpet. It's still nice out. What do you love about Broadway openings?
Oh, everything. It's the excitement. It's the energy of it all. It's just that you're about to go and see them do it for the first time in front of an audience, a big audience, and that's so exciting. There's nothing that can beat that. You can't get that anywhere else. Movie premieres are fun, but it's not a live experience in the moment, which is what makes it all so much more special than anything else.
And these shows are just going to have, continuous runs. It's going to run, forever and ever and ever. But we're going to be there on the opening night with that energy. There's nothing going to be quite like it. And nothing quite like a red carpet as well.
Well, Elizabeth Stanley is one of my best friends in the world. Known each other since we started together on the Xanadu tour, and we became best friends. I know. She's a riot. I've already seen some rehearsals of this. I mean, I know a zillion people involved. I can't wait to see it, but Elizabeth is really my main, girl I came to support.
It's huge. It's a 28-piece orchestra. There's like 31 people in the show.
Huge. It's the American musical theater. It's absolute grandest. At the perfect time. The good old-fashioned American musical. I can't wait to see it and hear it with this orchestra.
This is about a 24-hour shore leave for 3 sailors. If you only had 24 hours left in New York, what would you have to do? What would you have to do?
I'd definitely have to go down to the Village and the High Line, and I'd have to go to Risotteria downtown, which is like one of my favorite restaurants. Just grab friends and spend the day probably just walking around. It's the best thing to do in New York.
During the rehearsals for this, what was it like putting this whole show together, making it dance?
Well, we've been working on it for a long time. We've almost a year and a half now. But I think the most exciting part was getting to the stage, getting the costumes, getting the lighting, and really fine-tuning everything and getting all the technical elements together.
The ballet's stunning, especially I call it the 11 o'clock ballet. How did you come up with that idea?
It's really in the storytelling. We were just trying to tell Gaby's story and trying to create a moment where the two of them really fall in love through dance.
What's the biggest thrill for you of sitting in the house and watching how this show affects audiences?
Well, because we don't see dance in Broadway shows, this amount of dance, and I love that they react to the dance this way. They cheer for songs and they cheer for this and that, but you never see them cheering for just a pas de deux. And that's happening, and it's thrilling.
Oh my God, I've been in the show. I'm a huge fan of the show. I did it a million years ago at Arena Stage. My friend Nigel Lithgow is one of the producers. I'm excited. I'm very excited. I'm friends with Josh Bergasse. It's going to be great.
Wait till you see Josh's choreography in the show. It is
so excited. I'm so excited. I'm a huge fan, a huge supporter. It's going to be great. And for me, a lot of the show is always about the dancing, so it's got that incredible dance score. So,
would you like to come to Broadway?
Yeah. There's talk. There's some chatter.
This show was about a 24-hour shore leave with 3 sailors. If you only had 24 hours left in New York, what would you have to do?
I'd probably go to Serendipity to get a frozen hot chocolate. I would probably do a lot of good shopping. I would go see a lot of shows is what I would do. What are you talking about?
24 hours?
Well,
a matinee and an evening.
Absolutely. As long as it was a Wednesday, I think I'd be fine, or a Sunday or whatever, or Saturday. So yes, that's what I would do.
Amazing. It's opening night on the town. How do you both feel tonight?
So thrilled for our dad. I just know we wish he could be here today, and
I'm proud. I'm so proud of him and proud of the fact that these were these incredible group of talented kids who did this. And they're not kids anymore, not even alive, but God, they're just proud. That's how I feel.
What's amazing about this is a 28-piece orchestra. There's 31 people on stage. It doesn't happen anymore.
I know, the sound is incredible. I started crying at the national anthem, and the dancing is superb. And there's so much talent on Broadway, and they get to do everything they do so well. This is what actors come to New York and train and dream of doing, and just to see them so glorious. And I know our dad would be so thrilled.
And I gotta say, the music, Leonard Bernstein's music is maybe, it's to me, it's one of the 2 or 3 best scores ever written, and maybe the best thing he ever wrote for the stage. It's just unbelievable, this music. It's just so gorgeous.
What's brought you here tonight?
Well, I know a few of the producers, and we all know they should be our friends, right? You never know when you're going to need a producer. No, Nigel Lithgow is a friend of mine, and I've heard such wonderful things about the show, and since I'm going to be doing a show in the spring, I'm not going to miss anything. I'm trying to go to see everything I can now, because then I won't get the chance.
This is a huge show. There are 31 people on stage. There was a 28-piece orchestra. When was the last time you saw that on Broadway?
You haven't, which I'm a little envious about. Actually jealous, but I'm thrilled. I'm glad there are producers that will still see the importance.
Let's talk about your show coming in 20th Century. How excited are you?
Nervous. I'm nervous. I'm it's hard. That's a hard part, but I think it's going to be, right for me. I'm excited to work with Peter too.
It's going to be perfect. You're doing it at Roundabout.
Yeah, I know. They're in my home, so I'm happy to be coming home.
How do you feel tonight?
We're thrilled. We're just so happy and relieved and excited and really, really thrilled.
How many times have you gone? Yeah, tell me how many times you've seen it.
This production, probably 10, 15, or whatever. I mean, just as many as I could get here. Yeah.
I would live here if I could. I would live in your theater.
I do that. I actually just come and just absorb everything. I told the actors when we right before we had our first performance, I said, I'm a little bit concerned because I actually don't want anyone else to see this right now. I just want to watch it over and over again by myself.
This is huge. There are 28 pieces in your orchestra, and you have like 31 people on stage?
Yeah, 28. That's exactly right. 28-piece orchestra, 31 people on stage, all just, very exciting. It's really very special for Broadway. Here's hoping that it has a really long life here, because I think people come to New York to see this kind of show, this kind of song and dance, this kind of joy and celebration of the great American musical that is on the town.
This is a show you always wanted to do, isn't it?
Since I was a teenager, I wanted to do this show. And it's a long process. It took me a long time to get here. And I'm just so honored that it happened.
It's obviously about a 24-hour shore leave for the three sailors. If you only had 24 hours left in New York, what would you have to do?
24 hours left in New York.
I'd have to have sex with my husband.
I love that one. That's the best one.
For 24 hours.